Rapid fire, UL or don't care?
I would say I am interested in being UL, but never got to that point. I kind of, I started out knowing that I was kind of, what I was carrying wasn't necessarily like heavy by any means, but I think as people who are ultralight get, gear improves and people are creative and figure out ways to get even lighter and lighter, like 6-pound base weights and things like that. It just makes it seem like the lighter weight, but not ultralight gear is heavier, where I was carrying, I don't think my base weight would have ever been anything more than like 14 or so pounds. But a lot of that was just, I had the gear I started out with. I was looking at different shelters, but really just wanted like I had a big Agnes copper spur tent. I wanted a freestanding tent. I knew there were lighter options that could have worked for me, but I was just like, I'm pretty new to it. I didn't want like the trial and error of figuring out like how to adjust my pulls every day to use a tent that needed that, or to, a lot of those tents, you have to fix the guy lines in a certain way. And so kind of my hope was that I would start out with the gear I had and potentially change things as time went on, or at least learn from other people. I do wish I'd specifically with shelters, paid more attention to what other people were doing, so that I could have learned how to use a freestanding tent or a non-freestanding tent better in the future. But and towards the end of the trail too, like I think it was from the beginning of the trail, I had a pair of camp shoes that were camo Crocs that I definitely could have gotten rid of because I barely ever wore them, but just wanted to like I really loved them, wanted to keep them even if it didn't make sense. And so because of that, at some point, I think around Bishop, was seeing camo shirts and had this idea to come up with like a full camo outfit. And so by the end of Washington, I had like a full extra outfit, like apart from what I was wearing every day and things like that, just because I was like, if I wasn't ultralight until this point, like the last 2 weeks of the trail, it's not going to change. I may as well, carry extra weight. But I definitely like to be more lightweight in the future, just because a lot of my weight was coming from water and things like that at the beginning of the trail, but I think having a heavy pack at the very beginning of the trail kind of led to some back pain that really didn't go away throughout the whole trail. So that would be my reason for going ultralight. Not, some people get extreme and like to do it kind of to push themselves to see how lightweight they can go. And that's not really me, but just to make it more comfortable for myself, I would like to cut down where I can. But that's all dependent on the hike too, because, like I said, when you're in desert sections, water is very heavy. And if you have a super minimalist pack, it can be more painful if you're trying to carry all that weight on something that can't hold it up. So I think it depends kind of what trail you're doing, what section of the trail, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. When I did the CDT, you have, and you'll maybe do this someday. You have the New Mexico section, which is desert, cow troughs, long water carries. And then right after that, you have Colorado. So that's a total different kind of experience. Colorado is up and down, so much elevation gain. So I carried a pretty heavy pack in New Mexico. I didn't really care. I just had a bunch of luxury items because I knew I was strong enough. I did the PCT. So, at that point I was like, okay, I can carry the weight and it'll be fine. So that was fine for New Mexico. But then going into Colorado, I definitely changed my strategy and got rid of all that luxury stuff. And I'm so glad that I did, because it was just relentless. Like all I remember is the ups. I know there were downs, but I just remember the steep ups. So just going back to what you're saying about like it depends on the section you're hiking, it really does. And it's good to kind of change your strategy as you find out what's up ahead.